There's a special kind of pride that you feel deep down inside, a strength that seems to thrive in Lima, Allen County.
The American way of life, to get in gear and do what's right.
An unbreakable forthright link called Real American Strength. Lima, Allen County, Real American Strength.
Keeping you up to date with what's happening in your community. Community Focus on GTV2.
Thanks for joining us today on Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker. I'm pleased to welcome to the studio today the entire ID Bureau for the Lima Police Department. This is Greg Adkins and Mike Harmon. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks, Anne.
Tell us what the ID Bureau does.
We respond to crime scenes, and what we normally do is we'll go out, we'll photograph a crime scene, and then we process it. And what we're processing it for is things like latent fingerprints or collecting blood or something like that from a crime scene, something that we can submit to a lab to try and identify a suspect and collect evidence against a suspect.
What type of scenes do you go out on?
We go out on numerous types of scenes, burglaries, homicides, serious assaults, rapes, and occasionally, if we have the time or not much is going on, we can make it to a car break-in or something, but that's something that we normally don't get to make it to very often.
Well, I was going to say, with just the two of you, you pretty much have to be selective about, I would imagine, going out on only the bigger scenes or more violent crimes?
Right. Yeah, with our job, it not only entails going out on the crime scenes and processing the crime scenes, but we also manage the property room and the evidence room, so that also takes up a large chunk of our time.
So let's walk through it. When you do go out to the scene of a burglary, what do you do? What happens when you get there?
Well, usually the scene's secured by the patrol officers. We'll photograph the scene, then we begin the process of collecting the evidence. That could entail an outside scene where if you have a shooting and you got shell casings outside in the crime scene, and then work your way into the house or the residence or the business.
So you're crawling around on the ground looking for stuff? Do you have specialized equipment to help you look for stuff?
Flashlights. Yes,
it's the old-fashioned stuff.
Yeah,
old-fashioned stuff. Just basically look for the evidence and collect what you perceive as possible evidence.
We get to the scene of a burglary. We're going to, like Mike said, we're going to photograph it, and then we're going to start looking at dusting it for fingerprints. And if we do happen to lift latent fingerprints, we do have a computer that we can enter the fingerprints in to try and get a match. And we've recently had an upgrade to our computer where our old system was just a local database where we had 11,000 criminal sets of fingerprints in it. And with our new system, it opens it up to the state database where we're going to have hundreds of thousands of people we can compare it against. So hopefully we'll get a lot more positive results back from that.
How long does it take to process a crime scene?
It really depends on the size. If you go to a house, you might be there an hour and a half. If you go to a large business that's been broke into, it could take 3-4 hours sometimes.
And then what do you do when you get back to the station? How long at that end?
Well, that is where we have to put the evidence into the property room. Everything has to be tracked and labeled, and then we have to process any latent prints that we have. If we collected blood there or something like that, we have to package it and get it ready to be sent to the lab. So you're probably looking at a couple hours on the other end also.
It's quite intensive for just one crime scene and for two guys.
Yes, it's a lot of work for us.
You stay pretty busy?
Yes, we do.
Let's say my house has been burgled. From my perspective, what should I be doing until you arrive?
Well, I would say don't touch anything. Leave everything as it is. We like to get to a crime scene and nothing cleaned up. a lot of homeowners, maybe it's just being upset. They want to clean up the glass, excuse me, and they want to clean up the mess. Where we like to be there and see how it was when the person broke in. And also, like I said, on glass, you don't want to clean the glass up because it's a possibility of latent prints being on the glass.
Even on broken glass, you can pick them up?
Yes, and with the broken glass, we may be able to pick it up and take it back to our police department and fingerprint it there. We have various ways of trying to lift fingerprints other than the powder that you see them use on TV. But if you have a scene like that, if your house is burgled, sometimes you might have to tape up a window or something. If it happens on a weekend, we might not be able to get there that day that it happens. And if you're concerned about weather or something, you may have to tape plastic over it or something like that. But as long as we can kind of preserve it to where we can get there and check for fingerprints, on a Monday or whenever we get called into it, that would help us out tremendously.
You mentioned TV. How much of what you do is like what we see on NCIS?
Not much.
Why not? In what way?
Well, on TV, for one thing, they always get the bad guy, and they always find latent prints, and they always...
The evidence is there waiting for them.
They have the evidence there, and they get DNA results within an hour. And with us, it just doesn't happen. We collect blood from a scene. We submit it to the state lab, and they have been pretty good, though. We can get results usually within 6 weeks.
6 weeks? It's like that on TV.
Yeah, and a lot of people, we go to crime scenes, and a lot of people kind of expect that, but in reality, we can't get results the same day or same week for that matter. With the fingerprints, we do have the computer like you might see on TV that will match the fingerprints, but there again, even if we get good fingerprints at a crime scene, if the person isn't in our computer, then we're not going to get a match, so we're kind of at a dead end with that at that point.
Oh, it sounds fascinating. Is there anything else you'd like people to know about the ID Bureau?
Just if you have a crime and you need us out there, you can call us, but be patient. Our crimes are prioritized with homicides and rapes and assaults being the top priority, then burglaries and robberies, and car thefts are very low on the priority end. So if you have a car theft or something, I shouldn't say car theft, but theft from a motor vehicle, like your car stereo's taken or something like that, chances are we might not be able to get out to that crime scene.
Okay, but they can call the police department, or in a true emergency, call 911.
Correct. Always call 911 in a true emergency.
Okay, we appreciate both of you coming out today. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Ann.
You're welcome. Greg Adkins and Mike Harmon from the Lima Police Department. When we come back, we'll give you an update on the Chamber of Commerce, right after this on GTV2.
It's a small, small world. LACNIP's 7th Annual International Expo is Sunday, March 3rd from 2 to 6 p.m. at St. Rita's Auxiliary Conference Center, 718 West Market Street. You'll be able to talk to people who have moved to Lima from all over the world and learn about their traditions, artwork, and native clothing, and sample their delicious food. There will be plenty of music and dancing. Admission is free. Come out to LACNIP's International Expo, Sunday, March 3rd from 2 to 6 p.m. at St. Rita's Auxiliary Conference Center, and explore the world.
Help. It's against the law to deny people the opportunity to live where they want and can afford. If you feel that you've been treated unfairly, give LACA a call and we'll look into your complaint. LACA's fair housing services are free, so call today and get the housing you deserve. 419-227-2586.
Help keep the youth of Lima safe by donating to Lima Safety City today. Hello, I'm Chuck Eichelberger from the Lima Noon Optimist Club. Safety City is a very important part of the Lima community. The Optimist Club is renovating Safety City and it needs your help. Donations can be made by going to the website limasafetycity.org. You can also send a donation to Lima Noon Optimist Club, P.O. Box 428, Lima, Ohio 45802. Help keep the youth of Lima safe by donating to Safety City today.
Welcome back to Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker, and it's time for a Chamber of Commerce update. Here in the studio today are the very busy Jed Metzger and Jesse Pope. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, we're so busy because we're getting ready for the governor's visit. How are you involved?
Well, it's a whole community effort, and I think that's important. We're putting on the face of Lima, Allen County, and everybody has collaborated, worked together. It's going to be a event that we're going to showcase Lima. When Steubenville had their opportunity, they did not do as much from a community standpoint and celebrating and welcoming. I mean, the State of the State only happens probably once. Maybe in our lifetime, I don't know. This is the second time the governor has taken the State of the State on the road. So it's unique that the community has pulled together, and in every aspect, everybody's working together. I mean, it feels so good to know that everybody is encouraged and celebrating this event.
So it's not just the governor standing behind the microphone for an hour. What else is going on that day?
Well, there's several different things. There's several committee meetings in the morning and the afternoon. Basically, government, the state government is holding their meetings here. They're working here. Like the BWC is having their meeting, and the agribusiness is having their meeting, and mental health is having theirs. And it goes on. There's like 20 different committee meetings that's happening here in Lima. So there will be a reception when all the legislators get here. There's about 170 some legislators, and so we will greet them at the reception. We'll have a dinner again, to celebrate them and hear from the different caucuses and what's going on. And then throughout the governor's speech, of course, is later on, and then we will have another post-reception or opportunities that will lead people to different establishments downtown to where they can enjoy Lima, what we have to offer. So it's just the state government has worked well with us. Again, anything other than the State of State address pretty much is not paid for by the state. I want to clarify that. This is local funds that businesses have raised in order to make this celebration special.
Well, that's great. It's wonderful to see the community putting together, and it's an exciting time for all of us.
Oh, it is.
And as if you weren't busy enough, you've got a whole host of other things coming up at the Chamber.
Well, we have our West Central Ohio Safety Council program with Eric Gagir, and he is a individual that will be teaching many people. I don't know, we have several hundred, I think we're probably going to be closer to 150 people signed up for this event, but he when he presents, people come because he's just so good in helping basically businesses, manufacturers, industries to understand what they need to do with their safety programs and how to improve them for the safety of their employees. So we're excited for that. It's on March the 19th, and it's at the Civic Center.
And any safety people or just people in general can come?
Anybody can come to this event. It is open. There is it's free, actually. I mean, so you just need to call. That's one of the things the Safety Council wanted to do, is to make it available to everybody at no charge, because they felt and believed so strongly in the message that he would be able to share with our businesses and industries and manufacturers. So yes, it is free. Just contact the Chamber and at 222-6045, and we can sign you up.
Okay, the other big event coming up is in April. It's the Community Enrichment Dinner, and it's good to see it coming back after taking a year off.
Yes, it is. We're excited about getting it back into the community. It had in the past been a great event that involved businesses, people from all around the community, and so we're looking forward this year to having, this will be the 7th event for the Pods Entrepreneur Center.
So who do you have coming in to speak?
Our speaker is James Bird Guess. He's not nationally known, but he's a very energetic, motivational person that has an excellent story regarding entrepreneurship. James was born in Kansas. Early in his life, he had some difficult times, like a lot of young students who are in the high school range. James was actually homeless because of some activities that he got involved in, and of course his mother had put him out. And as a result of that, James found himself on the streets and doing some things that young people get themselves involved in, but trying to find himself. As a result, James got into trouble. James later was convinced that he needed to change his road and start searching for a career. And as a result, he actually ended up going to community college, later ended up with a degree, and ended up in the corporate world. Decided that he could not climb the corporate ladder as fast as he would like to, and so he thought maybe there's another opportunity. So from that, he ended up becoming an entrepreneur, selling clothes out of the trunk of his car. He ended up with a successful business, and he'll discuss that, but some of the unique techniques that he used was pretty innovative. And if you listen to James, you'll find that there was a number of businesses owners have started out of the trunk of the car, like Mike Adele. There's others who have started, and now they're major businesses. So we wanted to allow those small business people, or those who may have ideas of going into business, realize that there are options available for them if they just remain on the track and become a motivated and excuse me, because I've been struggling a little bit with cold, but yes, he's going to discuss his opportunities to try to interject leadership training, and James has a technique that he developed he calls grinding, and we'll let James tell you about what grinding is, but the main thing about it is James offers an opportunity for the community and others who may have entrepreneurial tendencies or don't necessarily know what it takes, and I think that's the most important thing, is you can have a great idea, stick with that idea, wake up every day grinding.
That's a great story. In fact, that's what the Potts Entrepreneur Center is about, is helping people with the idea make it a reality.
That's true. And his idea was, I could make it. I started off with $1,000, and actually the $1,000 that he got was money that he had saved from college, and he decided that he was going to just make that increase and multiply and see what he could do. So he ended up making $250,000. Took that $250,000, started to look at what most entrepreneurs have to look at. How do you get leverage out of that? And from getting the leverage, he ended up selling that business and from a wholesale to retail, and he made another $250,000. So you just have to look at it from a standpoint of, how do I get there, and how do I maintain that focus? And the thing that I think that James will talk to you more about is you just have to be persistent in what you want. First of all, you got to want it, and then you got to push to get it.
And what is the date of the Community Enrichment Dinner?
The Community Enrichment Dinner will be held on April the 11th at the Veterans Memorial Civic Center. Prior to the Civic Center event, James is coming in on the 10th to discuss and actually talk entrepreneurship to students in the area. We're looking for about approximately 100 to 150 students that will be held at the Y Annex. And James is excited about being able to come in and to talk to some of the young people in the area. So we're looking at students that may have marketing, say the Decker students, others who may have a desire or may not have decided what a career path they want, but then they may have some abilities that they will be able to grasp from James that says, wow, if he can do it, I can do it. And maybe that's neat, Here's someone who's actually started out with very humble means, got off on the wrong track, and yet he's a successful millionaire.
Just sometimes they just need a little motivation to get going themselves. I think it's a great opportunity for the kids. If people do want tickets for the dinner or more information, how do they get them?
For tickets, and you can call Jesse Pope at the Pot Center. The number is 222-6045, extension 234. Or Terry Saloni will also be there to take your orders, and we will make sure that you get your tickets.
And that's the Chamber's number.
Right. Okay. And Jed, quickly, let's talk about the awards gala, because that's coming up right after the Entrepreneur.
Yeah, one of the things we try to do is celebrate small business, and that is in the month of March. And we have a variety of different awards that we focus on: small business, women-owned business, emerging business, culturally diverse awards, the Athena Award, and etc. And so we're trying to get people to nominate people for the different awards, and the committees are really starting to meet, I think, this week in looking at some of the nominees. So if there is somebody that still has, that they feel that somebody should be honored, you can call the Chamber and get the information, or bring, you can complete a packet and bring it down. So it's again an opportunity to celebrate our richness that we have of small businesses in this community.
Okay, give us your phone number one more time.
The Chamber of Commerce, 419-222-6045.
And I know your website has details about everything coming up.
That's correct, and that's www.limachamber.com.
Okay, thank you both for coming in today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jed Metger and Jesse Pope from the Chamber of Commerce. When we come back, we'll tell you how you can get involved in Cinderella's Closet, right after this on GTV2.
Reduce, recycle, reuse. Allied Waste Services in the City of Lima encourage you to live green by recycling all that you can. Recycling promotes green living by reducing the amount of waste materials buried in landfills. This saves money, natural resources, and energy. Keep our environment healthy and start recycling today. Allied Waste Services is committed to a clean environment. Contact us today for your recycling needs. Visit our website, republicservicesohio.com, to learn more about recycling today.
Did you know that if you have information about someone who's committed a crime, or know of someone who is wanted by any law enforcement agency, you can call Crime Stoppers and possibly be eligible for a cash reward of up to $1,000. All callers remain anonymous. Make the call that pays. Call Crime Stoppers at 419-229-STOP.
Crime Stoppers! Crime Stoppers! Make the call that pays! Crime Stoppers!
Let's all do our part to keep the Ottawa River clean and healthy. Pick up pet waste and dispose of it in your trash so it doesn't end up in the storm drain. Your actions matter.
It's a small, small world. LACNIP's 7th Annual International Expo is Sunday, March 3rd from 2 to 6 p.m. at St. Rita's Auxiliary Conference Center, 718 West Market Street. You'll be able to talk to people who have moved to Lima from all over the world and learn about their traditions, artwork, and native clothing, and sample their delicious food. There will be plenty of music and dancing. Admission is free. Come out to LACNIP's International Expo, Sunday, March 3rd from 2 to 6 p.m. at St. Rita's Auxiliary Conference Center, and explore the world.
Welcome back to Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker. If your daughter or granddaughter needs a dress for the prom, well, we've got a dress for you. In fact, we've got a dress for the whole community.
We do.
This is Candy Newland. She's with the Kiwanis Club, and they are coordinating Cinderella's Closet.
We are. And it's going to be so exciting this year. We've had such gorgeous donations. I picked up some from Duffy's last week, and they are just beautiful.
Well, in fact, show them this one.
Yes, I especially like this one because I love the color. And it has a crinoline to make the bottom flow out, to make you feel like a princess. And it has a scarf that is attached, which is especially important because if I would be wearing it, I'd be losing it halfway through the evening. And this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous color that you can accessorize with so many different things. You could use pearls, you could use crystals, just so many different things that you could use with this dress.
And this is really representative of the donations you're getting, because they are all gorgeous dresses.
Yes, they are. We're so lucky. We have our contact at Duffy's Cleaners has a teenage daughter, and as they come in, she evaluates them and makes sure that they're things that her daughter would wear. And this year, as she said, we've received donations that are just gorgeous.
Pretty much any style, any size, any color, whatever people want, you've got it.
We do. We especially have asked for some sizes 16 and up because we're low on those, and so we've received some of those this year, so we should have some dresses for those girls as well as the ones who are size 2.
I wish.
I think I was born bigger than a size 2.
These are all donated. Are you still taking donations at this point?
But please have them to Duffy's Cleaners by the 18th of February.
And that's coming right up.
It is. It is.
And Duffy's is where?
On Shawnee Road, on the little
plaza there?
Plaza in the back,
Okay, and they're doing all the cleaning for free, so we need to say thanks to Duffy's.
Oh,
they're great folks.
We could never do this if Duffy's wouldn't partner with us to clean the dresses, because we want to make sure that every dress is just perfect for the girls. And we want to thank First Federal Bank for hosting it. They allow us to store the dresses there all year. They're hanging so that they don't get wrinkled. And it's just a perfect situation. Downstairs at the First Federal Bank on Allentown Road, there are dressing rooms and everything for girls to try the dresses on. They can bring their friends.
You don't expect that in the basement of a bank.
No, you don't. No, you don't. But we were so fortunate that they were willing to give us this space, because it's so much easier. Before, we had to pack the dresses all up and then steam them, and it was very difficult, a lot of work. In this way, they can just hang there all year and they don't get wrinkled. They're already sized.
So the big giveaway day is February 23rd.
Yes.
What time?
9 o'clock. Start at 9 o'clock until 2, or until we don't have any more dresses left.
Is it just a mad rush, or is there organization to how you do it?
There's an organization. We have our male Kiwanians upstairs, and they let down about 20 girls at a time, so that it's not packed down there, so that everyone has plenty of room to move around, plenty of room to go into the dressing rooms and try their dresses on, and they do a good job of that. They are absolutely not allowed downstairs.
You wouldn't want them downstairs. I'm sure they don't want to be downstairs
either.
I'm
not sure about that.
So if people want to donate, drop them off to Duffy's Cleaners before February 18th.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the deadline, February 18th.
And then on the 23rd, when you give them away, anybody can come get one?
Yes. Anyone can come and get them. And sometimes you might have a prom dress, but you need something for homecoming.
True.
So, and there are long gowns, there are short dresses. Some girls don't wear long gowns to the prom or homecoming. So come and see what's there, and if you find a dress, you're in luck. If not, then you have to go out on your own.
Well, and we hope that they will recycle it and bring it back next year come get a different one.
We do. Okay. And then they can use that money that they would have spent to maybe give to a local charity.
True.
Or put in their college fund.
True. Or more likely, go out to dinner and a movie.
Yes, or buy shoes and jewelry to go with the dress.
If people do want more information about Cinderella's Closet, how do they get it?
They can give me a call at 419-991-3152, and I'll help them in any way I can.
Great. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Candy Newland from the Kiwanis Club. I'm Anne Decker, and this is Community Focus on GTV2.